Introduce our team members.
Hi, my name is Nur Farah Husna, BT7 for Anwar. My dormitory is A20A1814, which is the Coca-Cola company and FNN company. For the assignment, the goal of this project is for students to gain a deeper understanding of the topic business management. This assignment also places more emphasis on financial ratio derived from financial statements. This research aims to evaluate the financial ratio of Coca-Cola and FNN on a horizontal and vertical scala for 2018, 2019, and 2020. In addition, research will conduct pattern studies and competition analysis and provide recommendations for all organizations to improve time perspective in front of them. Next is the nature of the business. We started with the Coca-Cola Company. Coca-Cola Company was founded in the United States in 1886 by John Stitt Pemberton. Coca-Cola Company is a multinational beverage company in the field of beverages. For FNN, the company originated in Singapore in 1883, was founded by John Fraser and David Chalmers Neave. Fraser and Neave Holding Berhad is one of the oldest food and beverage companies and a leading market leader in Malaysia.
Ratio of Coca-Cola Company. Liquidity ratio. For current ratio, year 22 has the highest, which is 1.32 times ability to pay short-term obligation on time rather than 2018 and 2019. Quick ratio. Year 22 has the highest, which is 1.09 times ability to pay the short-term obligation rather than 2018 and 2019. Net working capital. Year 2018 is the higher, which is negative $3,852 obsolete. Measure liquidity better than 2019 and 2020. T ratio. Inventory turnover. For year 2018 is the highest time, which is 11.17 times. 2018 ratio is more effectiveness in inventory to generate sales than 2019 and 2020. Account receivable turnover. Year 2020 has the highest time, which is 10.50 times in effectiveness in collecting receivables rather than 2019 and 2018. Fixed assets turnover. Year 2018 has the highest time, which is 3.57 times in effectiveness of fixed assets rather than 2019 and 2020. Total assets turnover. Year 2019 has the highest time, which is 0.43 times in effectiveness in total assets to generate sales rather than 2018 and 2020. Leverage ratio. Debt ratio on assets. Year 2018 is the highest amount debt to finance assets, which is 0.77 times rather than 2019 and 2020. Debt ratio on equity. Year 2018 has the highest amount of debt, 3.37 times rather than 2019 and 2020. Time interest earned. Year 2019 is the highest time, which is 11.40 times, which can meet loan requirement and lower risk of default rather than 2018 and 2020. Profitability ratio. Operating profit margin. Year 2020 have the higher percentage, which is 29.53%, are better for productivity than 2018 and 2019. Net profit margin. Year 2019 have the higher percentage, which is 24.11% in return to shareholders rather than 2018 and 2020. Return on assets. Year 2019 has the highest percentage, which is 10.40% in returning on firm's investment rather than 2018 and 2020. Return on equity. Year 2019 have the highest percentage, which is 42.59% in return to shareholders rather than 2018 and 2020.
Hello madam, I'm Mala Selvaraja. My metric number is A20A1438. Today I'm going to present about calculation of ratio of the Fraser and Neave FNN company. First of all, we need to find out liquidity ratio. For liquidity ratio, we have current ratio. To find out current ratio, we need to current assets divided by current liability. 2018, we had found 1.94 times current ratio. For 2019, 2.06 times, and 2020, 1.98 times. The second one is quick ratio. To find out this, we need to current assets minus inventory and divided by current liabilities. This is the answer for 2018, 2019 and 2020. The next one is net working capital. To find out this, we need current assets minus current liabilities. This is the answer for 3 years. Next, B is activity ratio. First is inventory turnover. To find out inventory turnover, we need to COGS or revenue divided by inventory. In this calculation, we have used revenue divided by inventory for 3 years, and this is the answer for 3 years. The second one is average collection period. To find out this, we need account receivable divided by credit sales times by 360 days. And here we go, three years of answers. The last one is account receivable turnover. To find out this, we need to sales divided by account receivable. And this is the 3 years answer. Next, C is leverage ratio. To find out this debit ratio, we need to know total debit divided by total asset. Total debit is equal to total liability. So here is the answers for 2018, 2019 and 2020. And next is debit the equity. To find out this, we need to total debit, that is total liability, divided by total equity. And here is the 3 years answers. The last one is time interest earned. Is how to get this? We need to EBIT, interest before include tax, divided by interest expenses. So then we get the 3 years answers over here. And the last one is D, profitability ratio. To find out operating profit margin, we need to know operating profits EBIT divided by sales times by 100%. So we will get the answers in percentage. The last one, net profit margin. To find out this, we need to know earning after tax divided by sales and times by 100%, and these answers also will be in percentage. This is the 3 years of answer.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Neave Manometry A20A1645. Today I want to present about horizontal and vertical analysis for Coca-Cola company and Fraser and Neave company. 4.1 Liquidity Ratio. Liquidity refer to the ability of a business to pay its short term when it is due. So based on diagram above, it shows the current ratio of the company Coca-Cola and Fraser and Neave FNN. In 2018, we found out that Coca-Cola current 2 times in 2020. For Fraser and Neave FNN, the current ratio in 2018 is 1.45 times, and it still increased to 2.06 times in 2019, but it decreased in 2020 by 1.98 times or 2 times. So this is because Fraser and Neave company increased in 2019, but 2020 declined again. So Fraser and Neave FNN company show a highest ratio in 2018 to 2020, which means the company's liquidity quotient is a better one. 4.1.2 Quick ratio. This table show quick ratio for Coca-Cola company and Fraser and Neave FNN company from 2018 until 2020. Based on diagram above, it shows the quick ratio of Coca-Cola and Fraser and Neave F&N company. In 2018, we found that the fast ratio of the Coca-Cola company was with 1.09 times. Fraser and Neave company, the quick ratio decreased in 2018 and increased in 2019, and it decreased again in 2020. Fraser and Neave company show a highest ratio in 2020, which means better liquidity and financial health of the company. However, the Coca-Cola company show a lower ratio over the past 3 years, meaning the company is more likely to struggle in paying down debt.
4.1.3 Net working capital. Based on the above diagram, it shows the net working capital of the Coca-Cola and Fraser and Neave company. In 2018, we found that the net working capital in 2018, we found that the net working capital of the Coca-Cola company was negative $5,852, and it increased in 2019 by negative $6,562 and decreased to $4,659 in 2020. For the net working capital of Fraser and Neave company was unstable in 2018 and 2019 from negative $5,050,774 in 2018 increased to negative $5,055,184 in 2019 and last recovery to $1,075,997 in 2020. Lastly, the Coca-Cola company and the Fraser and Neave F&N show positive working capital in 2020, which means the company can fund its current operation and invest in future activity and growth.
Salam sejahtera. Hi, my name is Corey and my magic number is A20A1392. I'm going to present about liquidity ratios, which involves average collection period and also inventory turnover, and also all of the profitability ratios of our group assignment. Okay, first, it's activity ratios. Activity ratio is a type of financial metric that shows how methodically a company is leveraging the assets on its balance sheet in order to generate revenues and cash. Activity ratios may be applied while comparing two different businesses within the same sector. Okay, so based on the graph of inventory turnover, the graph shows the analysis of Coca-Cola company and F&N. So in 2018, Coca-Cola has a 11.70 times of inventory turnover. In 2019, it is 11.03, and in 2020, it is 10.11 times. And for F&N, in 2018, it is 7.94 times, and in 2019, it is 7.26 times, and 2020, it is 6.18 times. So inventory turnover refers to a financial ratio which shows how many times a company has sold and substituted inventory during a given period. So for horizontal analysis, Coca-Cola company illustrates the slow turnover represents weak sales and possibly excess inventory. However, F&N shows the faster ratio implies either strong sale or insufficient inventory. So for vertical analysis, the graph above shows the Coca-Cola company has higher inventory turnover than F&N in the year 2017, 18, and 19. The inventory turnover of Coca-Cola company has less liquid than F&N. Next is average collection period. Okay, so for average collection period, it refers to the amount of time it takes for a business to receive payments owned by its client in terms of accounts receivable. So for the analysis, in both Coca-Cola company has recorded 38 days in 2018, 38 days in 2019, and 34 days in 2020. And for F&N, the company has 50 days in 2018, 52 days in 2019, and 53 days in 2020. So in summary, for horizontal analysis, Coca-Cola company is typically more favorable than F&N because Coca-Cola company is indicating the organization collects payment faster. And for vertical analysis, It is showing that the average collection period of FNN is higher than Coca-Cola Company in 3 years, which is 2018, 19, and also 20. Next up is probability ratios. Probability ratios refers to a class of financial metrics that are used to assess a business ability to produce income relative to its revenue, balance sheet assets, operating costs, or shareholders' equity over time, using data from specific point on time. Okay, so for the operating profit margin, yes, of the operating profit margin calculates profitability after considering both cost of goods sold and operating expenses. So for Coca-Cola Company, the analysis is in 2018 is 23.98%, in 2019 is 28.94%, and in 2020 is 29.53%. And for FNN, in 2018 it is 11.08%, and in 2019 it is 14.89%, and in 2020 it is 14.67%. Okay, so for horizontal analysis, based on the result of the increase for Coca-Cola Company in operating profit margin is due to the large amount of sales while less amount of operating profit. So nonetheless, the operating profit of FNN remained unstable in 3 years, which is 2018, 19, and also 20. So for vertical analysis, the Coca-Cola Company has given a better performance than FNN. Next up, it's net profit margin. Yes. So net profit margin calculates profitability after considering all spending incurred by the company during a certain period. Okay. So in 2018, the analysis of Coca-Cola Company is 18.88%. In 2019, it is 24.11%. In 2020, it is 23.53%. And for FNN Company, in 2018, it is 9.29%. 2019, it is 11.15%. And 2020 is 11.33%. So the net profit of FNN in 2018 was 9.29%, and the following 2 years also show growing trend on net profit margin. So the result also goes to the same as Coca-Cola Company. Both companies also show a growing trend. Okay, so next up is return on assets. Yes, so return on assets calculates the rate of return earned on the total asset investment of the company that results from operating income, which is before interest and taxes. So based on the analysis, in 2018, Coca-Cola Company recorded a 7.78%. In 2019, Coca-Cola Company recorded 10.40%. And in 2020, the company recorded 8.9%. And for FNN, in 2018, it recorded 3.99%. 2019, 4.49%, and 2020, 4.35%. And based on the graph, Coca-Cola Company managed the better performance of the company by comparing to FNN, which use its assets to generate operating income. Okay, so I guess, and next up, it's return on equity. Okay. Yeah. Return on equity calculates the rate of return earned on the stockholders' equity investment in a company. Okay, it's based on analysis in 2018, Coca-Cola Company recorded a 33.98%. In 2019, it is 42.59%, and in 2020, it is 36.50%, which is 36.5. And for FNN Company in 2018, the analysis is 5.65%. In 2019, it is 6.36%, and in 2020 it is 6.12%. So in comparison, FNN incurs a huge loss net income because their return on equity is much more lesser than Coca-Cola Company. It's a huge gap. Okay, so thank you for watching.
4.2.3 Account receivable. In 2018, the turnover of account of the Coca-Cola Company receivable was 9.31 times and increased to 9.38 times in 2019 and increased to 10.5 times in 2020. However, the turnover of Fraser and Neave Company receivable continue to decline from 2018 to 2020 from 7.10 in 2018 to 6.75 times in 2020. In conclusion, the collection of account of debtor of the Coca-Cola company in effection has a highest quality ratio of customer who repay their debts quickly. But Fraser and Neave FNN show ineffection in collecting account receivable and customer were unable to repay their debt more quickly. 4.2.4 Fixed asset turnover. For Coca-Cola, the turnover of fixed asset was 5.57 times in 2018 and in 2019 was 5.44 times, as well as a slight decrease to 5.06 times at 2020. However, the turnover of Fraser and Neave FNN company and in 2019 was 5.44 times, as well as a slight decrease to 5.06 times at 2020. However, the turnover of Fraser and Neave FNN company fixed asset is wallet, which is over of 5.54 times in 2018, rose to 2.07 times in 2019, and eventually dropped it a little bit to 2.58 times in 2020. In conclusion, Coca-Cola company point to invest that are used more effectively in fixed asset to generate income. Fraser and Neave company.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Ijazi bin Rusli. My number A20A1534. Total asset turnover. Result analysis in 2018, Coca-Cola total asset turnover record 0.41 times, while 2019 record 0.43 times. In 2020, record a decrease of 0.38 times. FNN on the other hand record 0.42 times 2080, 0.40 times 2090, and record the same deadline as Coca-Cola 0.38 times in 2020. Ketika analysis 2080, total turnover of Coca-Cola asset is 0.41 times, while FNN is 0.42 times in the difference of 0.01. 2090, Coca-Cola record 0.43, while FNN record 0.40 difference of 0.03. 2020, Coca-Cola and FNN by 0.38, which is the same amount. They sell in inventory. Horizontal analysis 2080, they sell in Coca-Cola inventory of 32.67 days, 33.09 days in 2090, and 36.10 days in 2020. FNN daily sale of 45.97 days, 50.28 days, 2090, and 59.09 days 2020. Vertical analysis 2080, they sell inventory for Coca-Cola was 32.67 days, while FNN was 45.97 days, a difference of 13.29 days. 2090 for Coca-Cola is 33.09 days, while 50.28 days for FNN is a difference of 70.19 days. 2020, Coca-Cola record 39.10 days, while FNN had 59.09 days, difference of 22.96 days. Leverage ratio. Leverage ratio is any one of a financial measure that looks at how much capital come in from the debts, loan, or asset a company ability to meet its financial obligation. Debts ratio. Horizontal analysis 2080. The debts ratio for Coca-Cola of 0.77, 2019 and 2020 get the same amount of 0.76. Debt ratio for FNN 2018, 2019, and 2020 is the same as 0.29. Vertical analysis, the debt ratio for 2018 for Coca-Cola is 0.77, while 0.29 for FNN. The difference is 0.48. For 2019 and 2020 for the two companies is the same, with a difference of 0.47. Debt to equity. Horizontal analysis, debt to equity for Coca-Cola 2018 is 3.37, 3.09 for 2019, and 3.10 for 2020. Debt to equity for FNN for 2018 and 2019 is 0.42, while 0.41 for 2020. Vertical analysis, debt equity for Coca-Cola 2018 was 3.37, while FNN was 0.42, a difference of 2.95. 2019 Coca-Cola by 3109, while FNN by 0.42, difference of 2.67. 2020 Coca-Cola by 3.10, while FNN by 141, difference of 2.69. Time interest earned. Horizontal analysis, time interest earned for Coca-Cola in 2018 is 8.66, 11.40 for 2019, and 2020 is 6.78. For FNN, there is not time interest at record. Physical analysis, in 2018, the time benefit earned for Coca-Cola is 8.99 times. In 2019, the time benefit earned for Coca-Cola is 11.40 times, while in 2020, the time benefit earned is 6.78. As for the FNN company, it has no time benefit. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Musliha binti Abdul Malik and my matric number is A208273. 5.0 Recommendation. As recommendation, FNN company and Coca-Cola company can reduce or rearrange expenses of their business. Both them can find other ways to improve their company's finance. Among the examples that we can take, they can outsource HR department with do not spending too much money on department that don't relate in any way to the core operation. Next, FNN company and Coca-Cola company should to recover outstanding payment. Both companies have to make sure they regularly remind debtors of their obligation. The cooperation of both parties is necessary to aid financial growth for FNN company and Coca-Cola company. The last part is conclusion. For the conclusion, our group can conclude that Fraser and Neave FNN company is a good performer rather than Coca-Cola company from year 2018 until 2020. We had seen in the financial ratios that we have been calculated, Fraser and Neave FNN company is better than Coca-Cola company. So, firstly, Fraser and Neave FNN company current ratio show that their company is the higher level, while Coca-Cola company are just a normal range of current ratio. So, the last for this conclusion, Coca-Cola company has a higher in debt to equity ratio in terms of leverage ratio than Fraser and Neave FNN company. In this case, it is sure that Coca-Cola company facing heavily debt to produce their output than Fraser and Neave FNN company.